Hey, my name's James Nicholson. Welcome to my YouTube channel. House prices are up everywhere except for London. I bet you weren't expecting that as today's video. So we're going to jump into that. We're going to talk about what's going on in what region, why house prices are going up, where's this data even from, and much, much more. But before we jump into that, if you haven't done already, make sure you give that like button a little tickle. This was a suggestion from one of you guys. Rather than smashing the like button today, we're going to tickle that like button and make sure it turns blue. So go on, tickle the like button and make sure it turns blue. And while you're there, make sure you tickle the subscribe button and hit the bell notification as well, because we're trying to get to 7,000 subscribers. I think we'll hit that next week. So do make sure you help us with that. So land registry data has come in, and this is the one that has the biggest lag. You see, the land registry data is always behind. They're super busy. They're probably going to catch up. You'll see why. But they are always a little bit of a lag with the land registry data. But it's really the final data. And so that's why we really, when we get the land registry data, we take a little bit more of an understanding on what's going on with that. So I've got to look down at my little notepad. Some of you make fun of my tiny little notepad. I've got a lot to go through here. And so this is the data for June. Remember, when we talk about nationwide and we talk about Halifax, we talk about the month prior. So we would talk about July. But Land Registry has more of a lag. So they're releasing the data yesterday for June 2023. Now, this includes cash purchases. So when we talk about nationwide or Halifax data, there'll always be some people in the comments saying, well, that isn't inclusive of cash purchases. This is. So this is a more up-to-date, more accurate. Now, things can change, but it is more accurate. And it's really interesting that they're saying house prices are up in everywhere but London. So this contradicts the nationwide. This contradicts the Halifax data that we've had. I think one of them said 3% down, one of them said 2% down. These guys are saying we're up. So let's see what that looks like. So what they're saying is the year to date, as an average at the moment, I've got some new pens coming, guys, before you comment below. I've ordered some yesterday. So on an annual basis, they're saying that house prices are up on average 1.7%. So that's house prices. And that is moving on a downward trend. They were on an annual basis up 1.8%. So look, yeah, it does show the market is slowing down, but it also shows that it's way more resilient than people are saying. A lot of people are saying this. And so we talk about house prices. Where are they going to end up in 2023? I was saying an 8% drop at one stage. Then I revised it to 6%. Now I'm saying at 5%. Maybe this needs to change again, because this isn't moving very fast in the direction that people want to see. So what are we looking at with an average house price at the moment? Well, an average house in the UK at the moment is £288,000. And so that's the highest it's ever been. And so on an annual basis, people have made on average £5,000 on their properties, which everyone likes to do. And so that's good for people that invest. Even if you own your own home, it's a potentially good thing as well. So different regions are getting hit differently, as we've said. On an annual basis, we're up 1.7%, but London is down, right? So London is a struggling market at the moment. And often that's where things start. You start to see the cracks in London and it spreads out. We're expecting the southeast of the UK to be hit harder than other areas. And that's indicative of this. So the cheapest place to get a house at the moment is the northeast of the UK. That covers me with my Doncaster stock. And so in Doncaster and that sort of area, Yorkshire, Humber, Hull, those sorts of areas, house prices have done really well this year. And so in the northeast, house prices are up 4.7%, which is great, right? And so that adds to Georgia's net worth. So the reason we started this channel was because we're building a portfolio for Georgia, my daughter. She's my older daughter, who's 22, and we've got a little baby, Amelie, who's 2. And so that's why I started this channel, to hold myself accountable. So Georgia's got some property in Doncaster, 4.7%. We've got about 100 grand of house there. So about 5 grand on a 100 grand house. Not bad, right? So we'll take that all day long. So what else is going on? Well, transactions. How many transactions have we got? That's interesting to see because that shows us how busy the market is at the moment. We know it's quieter, but how much quieter is it? Well, there was 85,000 sales in June, 85,870, which is down 15%. So transactions are down 15%. That's what we've heard from lots of different sources. Where if you've been watching this channel for a while, we've been saying transactions are down around 15 to 20%. Land Registry is telling us the same here. So that's interesting that that marries up. Now, the reason why potentially we haven't had a big drop yet is that there is still a drop in buyers as well. And so there's a drop in stock for sale and there's a drop in buyers, but it kind of mirrors each other. So there's about 15, 20% less buyers and about 15, 20% less stock. So no one's got the pressure to put the price up or down really at the moment. We are starting to see asking prices drop a little bit. Some of you will always say, because I read every comment and I'm actually the person that replies to these comments, believe it or not. Some of you will say that in your area, you're seeing a lot of reductions. That, remember, is normal. In a normal market, 2019 was a normal market, to 2018, 2017, you would normally see around 25% of the market reduced because people put it on a high price. They want to get some interest at that high price and hopefully start a bidding war. Doesn't work, so then they drop it. But we didn't see discounted properties in the last 2 years because what was happening, when I was looking for Georgia, we went to Birmingham. Georgia and I went to Birmingham for an afternoon to look at some properties. One of the properties we looked at had something like 15 or 20 people looking at it at the same time. I just knew straight away that was a waste of time. That was going to get bid up massively. And that's what happened in the last few years. But now we're back to a more normal market, quieter market. You will start to see discounted properties, but it doesn't mean necessarily that house prices are crashing. Depends on what they ultimately sell for in the end. And so what else is going on in that? So that's actually another thing is the sales are actually up on May by 6%, which was interesting here. So house prices, what have they done on a month by month basis now? So June, let's talk about May first, rather than being back to front. So in May, Land Registry said we had a 0.3% down. In June, they said we went up 0.3%. So kind of cancelling each other out. Now, I know that's not exact math, but it's close enough, right? And so that's interesting to see that it's still a pretty much a flat market. So I'm looking at this data now because this is the ultimate data. I like, as I said, as a forecast, I like to listen to the mortgage lenders because they can tell me what they're predicting the market's going to be. Land Registry don't tell me forecasts like that. They're just giving me data. This is the facts. This is what happened on this date. This is how many transactions. This is how much things cost, right? That's what they do. Whereas the mortgage companies, Halifax, Nationwide, what they're doing is they're saying, well, look, we know what deals are getting agreed today. So we can see what the market's going to do in the next 3, 6, 9 months from now, because that's how long a property transaction takes to do. And so those different data sources give me different perspectives. But what I see from all of this is the market's not moving as quickly as people might expect. Interest rates, they're just making people sit in their properties. There are transactions happening. In fact, people are downsizing, which is fine because they want to take a cheaper property and maybe they're paying the market value for that cheaper property. And so that means that price hasn't dropped significantly on that. Whether the one that they've left, they'll take a different price, who knows? But it is really interesting data. So this was Land Registry data today. Let me know your thoughts and comments on it. I know it's interesting, but remember, before you flame me in the comments, this is what the Land Registry is saying. This isn't my data. This isn't my opinion. This is facts. This is what's going on in today's market. 1.7% up annually. That isn't down, is it? And so prices have still risen. Maybe July we'll start to see a bigger drop, but it shows the market is moving very, very slowly. And so it's going to take at least till next year before we see any bigger drops, if at all. Let me know your thoughts and comments below. Do subscribe. Remember, we're tickling that subscribe button today. Do tickle that like button as well. We're trying to hit 100,000 views this month. How can you help me? Well, go and watch one more video. Here's one right here.